Tune in to the Williams College Sideline Quarterback Club show, and we hope to see you on Saturday. Go Ephs!
Come all ye sons of William, sing as we march down the field. Cheer till the hills and valleys ring, with never a thought to leave. We'll back the team in every game, with them in every play. Fling out the purple hair, for once again comes William's day.
Welcome to the Williams College Football Show, brought to you by the Williams Sideline Quarterback Club. On today's show, we're going to look back at Saturday's victory over the Hamilton Continentals. We'll look ahead to the Colby game, and we'll talk to two current student athletes, Riley O'Connell and Ryan Carney. I'm joined on today's show, as always, by Williams College head football coach Mark Raymond. Mark, we're glad you're here.
Great to be here, Malcolm. Thank you.
A 24-17 victory over Hamilton on Saturday. First game. Give us your initial thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to come home with the victory, right? Those road openers are always tough, and we knew Hamilton would be ready for us. But really proud of the guys. We went out there, we executed early. You know, we played good defense in the first half. Offensively, we got things going, and then towards the end, I wish we would have tightened up a little bit more defensively, but we were able to control the ball when we had it and put them away.
So as the first game, pretty solid. No turnovers. You got to like that. Special teams, again, one fake punt from Hamilton, but really no big special team problems. Penalties only 4 for 40 yards.
Yeah, it was. We played pretty mistake-free football. When it comes to penalties and turnovers, missed assignments. So we need to get better on. But sometimes that's a factor in the opening game. But a lot to teach off of, but a lot to be proud of as well.
And speaking of proud, let's talk about the run game and the offense. Williams rushed 44 times for 258 yards, 3 touchdowns, no fumbles. 4 for 4 in the red zone, and a really impressive 5.9 yards per rush for the day.
Yeah, really got going. The O-line, there was some transition, some new guys up there this year, and they've done a great job gelling. And the running backs, with Marvin, Orris, and Bott, and the addition of Owen Johansson, they did a great job. They ran hard, and we were able to really chew up some yardage.
As you mentioned, there were maybe some question marks coming into the game about some guys that were stepping up from injuries. I think that was answered with an exclamation point. Really good play from the offensive line.
Yeah, they did great. Like I said, there was 3 kind of first-time starters in there, and we have a long way to go, but they proved that they're very capable of getting the job done.
Now, tell us about your quarterback. Of course, last year's quarterback, Owen McHugh, out with a baseball-induced injury.
Yeah.
Owen Johansson stepped in, went 5 of 8 through the air for 51 yards, played a really controlled game and solid on the ground. Yeah,
Owen's got a little bit of experience playing quarterback. We brought him into some elements last year, but he did a really nice job running the offense. Made some big plays with his feet and his arm, and I think obviously as the first start goes, he did a great job.
Let's talk about the defense as well. You're held Hamilton to 49 yards rushing on 22 carries. So that's about exactly half the number of carries that Williams had, but a fifth of the yardage, only 2.2 yards per carry.
Yeah, our run defense was really good. Our defensive line and linebackers really kind of combined in there to shut that down. We were able to get some pass rush going with a couple negative plays, but certainly that's a big priority of ours is to be able to stop the run.
And on the passing side, Hamilton did go 26 of 41 for 298 yards and 2 touchdowns. How satisfied were you with that?
Well, not very. We gave a couple of big plays there, one for a touchdown and 2 and then 1 in the red zone. So we need to do a better job there in pass coverage. But like I said, a lot to learn from, and we'll tighten it up.
So the game started, both teams feeling each other out. but Williams did begin to assert itself on the first drive. You had John Orris going in from 5 yards out.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, really, we were talking about the red zone, executing in there all the time, and really made points of it. And like I said, those are tough yards down there. And John, is a hard runner and was able to punt it in.
Hamilton came back, resorted to a fake punt.
Yep.
Were able to move the ball. The defense stiffened, and they wound up missing a field goal of about 40 yards. Now, Williams relied on last year's punter, not only for punting this year, but also for kicking from Leo Maiolo. Tell us about that.
Leo was real versatile. He's one of the best punters in the league, and Saturday he came out and did a great job kicking off for us, as well as nailing all his PATs and a field goal. So he did a great job carrying the load on special teams.
He did contribute a field goal before halftime. Williams went in at the half 10-0. Came back out, and Hamilton with a pretty good drive coming out of the locker room. Were they doing anything differently or just got some momentum?
They made some plays. Their quarterback's an outstanding player, and he completed a couple balls on us and on third down and fourth down conversion there. And we like I said, we just need to be tighter coverage on there. But he's a good player, and good players are going to eventually make good plays.
Williams did respond. Put together a drive that was, I think maybe the pivotal play was a scramble by Owen Johansson of about 30 yards. Tell us about that play.
Yeah, we're backed up as, we had a second and very long situation, and he was able to make a guy miss in the backfield and took off and got down the sideline for about 30-yard gain. Like you said, it was a great play by him, and kind of shows what kind of skill set he has.
And again, after that, John Orris with a 12-yard TD run. The East were able to capitalize there, and as the fourth quarter began, go up 17-0.
Yep. Yeah. Good place to be at that point.
Good place to be at that point. But Hamilton wasn't done. They came back and scored a touchdown, as you said, on a long pass. Williams answered, and I have to say, in impressive fashion. Gaping holes up the middle, blown open by the offensive line. 6 straight runs right up the middle, 75 yards. How did that make you feel as a coach?
Oh, it's great. It's great when you see that, we're coming off physical, and our fullback Riley O'Connell and our backs and O-line tight ends we're working together, and we're able to really kind of beat them up a little bit physically.
And kept after it. Hamilton did claw their way back in. But was unproductive on their last drive. Tried an onside kick.
Yep.
Williams recovered it and was able to run out the clock again with a ground game.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there. You never want to have your hands team on there at the end of the game, but we got them out there. We got the ball back, and our offense was able to ice it with the first down. So it was a great job by them.
All right, so that's a look back at Hamilton, and we'll be back in just a few moments with current student athletes Riley O'Connell and Ryan Carney. And then, Coach, we'll be back to talk about the Colby game.
Excellent.
Welcome back to the Williams College Football Show. I'm your host, Malcolm Smith. I'm here with a couple of current Williams student athletes. Now, before I introduce these guys, I want to stress again, big game coming up against Colby this weekend. And we're starting what's called the Kickoff Crew, brought to you by the Williams Sideline Quarterback Club. Kids of all ages meet down here in the south end zone, right at the fence, just before the game starts. So 15 minutes before game time, that's 12:45. We're going to form a corridor, and we're going to high-five the Williams players as they run out of the locker room and take the field. Guys, how does that strike you?
That's awesome. Can't wait for the support.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, kids. Now let's get to meet these two guys. I want you guys to introduce yourselves, give them your name, your year, and your position, and your number. And then if you can remember it, your hometown and your major. And we'll start with you, Riley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Riley O'Connell. I'm a senior psychology major here at Williams. I play tight end, number 3, and I'm from Lincoln Sudbury, Massachusetts, Lincoln Sudbury Regional High School. So go Warriors.
Outstanding. Ryan, you ready to go?
Yep. I'm Ryan Carney. I'm a fifth year actually, so I'll be finishing up this December. I'm a defensive end, psychology major as well, number 55, and I'm from Situate, Mass, but I went to Boston College High School in Dorchester.
Tell us a little bit, if you would, about your family back there in Situate. Who's still there? Maybe who's left the nest, if anyone has.
Yeah, so I have two older sisters actually. One of them is still living in Situate, but they've both left the nest actually. But she has two children, so I'm an uncle, and my other sister has a baby on the way. So I'll have three nephews in a few months here. So definitely.
Wow,
exciting. Yeah.
Uncle Ryan, the defensive end.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
pretty neat.
I'm really living up to the fifth year standards. Yeah.
Fantastic. Riley, tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, so I have two brothers. I'm the middle child. I have an older brother who's actually a Williams alum, class of 23. He also played football here. My little brother is still in high school. He just started his freshman year, just started his freshman season at LS, so really excited for that. And then, yeah, both my parents still at home and living in Sudbury.
All right, and you are one of the East captains elected by your teammates this year. Talk about that honor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great honor to have the respect of your teammates and the trust to be a leader on this team. And, you know, we understand that it's not just the captains leading. We have great leaders like Carney, like other seniors, other upperclassmen that are doing a great job. But it's a great honor to be elected.
And Ryan, you were, as you said, a fifth-year senior returning again. You've got seniority. Also, were a captain on the field on Saturday. Quite an honor for you as well.
Thanks. Yeah, it's quite an honor. Proud to represent the team. I think we're going to do some really good things this year, and we got a lot of leaders in the locker room.
All right, so let's talk about the Hamilton game a little bit. Riley, you play what I'm going to call slot back. It's sort of tight end. Talk to us first a little bit about that. So tight end is an old name, and slot back is a little bit different, but has a new name.
Yeah, so I play kind of the modern day fullback, I like to call it. So out of the shotgun, you know, doing different things and kind of leading the way for the running back. It's a lot of fun. It's a position where you get to, you know, block in the run game, but also, you know, run some routes in the pass game and get involved that way. So it's a really fun position to play. You get to do a lot and have a lot of fun with it.
And you did catch one pass for 9 yards, but as you said, the fullback is primarily a blocking position on this team. Really established the ground game. You and the guys up front were fantastic. Talk to us a little bit about how that came together and your thoughts coming out.
Yeah, we had a really good game plan going in. The coaches had a good sense of kind of what they were going to bring at us and what their personnel was. And I think we did a good job of kind of game planning for that and then going out and executing the game plan at a really high level.
There was a drive, an important drive in the second half. I think 6 straight plays right up the middle. I guess you knew they were coming. Were you ready to tee off on some guys and knock them over?
Yeah, we kind of sensed in the second half that Hamilton's energy was kind of waning, and we take pride in being a well-conditioned football team and a tough football team. And you know, when we sense a team kind of lifting their foot off the gas pedal like that, we like to finish. So that was definitely exciting for us to have that opportunity.
Well done, really well done by everybody.
Ryan, you were on the defensive side of the ball and a leader really for the day. 5 tackles, including 2 sacks. The defense was tested on the day, but you guys came through. Talk to us about the experience.
Yeah, it was great to be back there, getting off to a good start. Personally, my first play, I was able to get to the quarterback, which definitely felt great. But then we, you know, were tested a little bit in the second half there, and we really just had to stick together, trust our game plan, trust that our coaches put us in the right position, and you know, play as a team. And ultimately, we were able to do enough to come out with the win. We got some things to clean up for sure against Colby, but we're looking to do so this week.
Certainly came away with a win, and I have to say, really controlled the game, even though you don't like, as Coach said, don't like to see your hands team in there. But when you do, you know the other side's really trying hard to catch up, and you wouldn't let them do it. So you are a fifth-year senior, which simply means that you took last spring off.
Yeah.
I understand you work locally at the Community Chest here in Williamstown. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Community Chest is over on Spring Street, located in between the Log and Tunnel City Coffee. Basically what we do is we're a nonprofit organization that fundraises and allocates funds for 19 different agencies in the surrounding area, and then, you know, we give back to the community through, allocating those funds to those various different agencies. Another thing we do, we just had the fun run over the weekend, I believe. So a great turnout there, and it's a great way to give back if you're looking to just give back to the community. You don't know, which agency you want to give to. We do a great job kind of vetting which ones are trusted and which ones are really deserving of funding. So
Community Chest is really a great asset here in town. It's sort of like United Way, but much more localized than that. Now, your boss there was the director of the Community Chest, Ann Singleton, maybe 5'2" on a good day. You're not
Yeah.
5'2". How did you
No.
feel working for somebody so much
No,
smaller than you?
yeah, I'm like a foot taller. It was funny. So I was most days the only other person working in the office there, and I was sitting down at my desk, and then the times when we would both be standing up, like my head was like hitting the ceiling, and she was just, I was like looking down, and it was funny. Definitely felt like I was taking up a lot of space there.
She may be small, but she walks tall.
Yeah. Ann is great. Shout out to Ann.
All right, guys.
Let's talk about some of the guys on the team now. Who's the funniest guy in the locker room? Your funniest teammate. You're laughing already, Riley. We'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I think of Rowan Stenson, a big smile comes across my face. He's a real funny guy, always cracking a joke and lifting everyone's spirits in there. So I'd have to nominate Rowan Stenson for funniest on the team.
All right, Ryan, what about you? Funniest guy in the locker room?
That's tough. We lost a lot of great candidates last year, namely Ryan Leverall. Shout out to Ryan Leverall. He was one of the funniest guys I've ever met. I got to think about it for a second. I would probably give it to.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, it is.
Don't want to piss anyone
Yeah,
off.
I know. I think Rowan's actually a good answer. We'll stick with Rowan. Yeah,
All right.
He's a good guy.
All right, Rowan, we're going to have to get you on for your jokes. Guys, we're playing football, okay? Not baseball. But if we were playing baseball, what would be your walk-up song, Riley?
I would have to say that it would be Rooster by Alice in the Chains. Just really gets the blood flowing.
All right, Rooster. How about you, Ryan? Your walk-up song.
I might have to go with Shipping Up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys. That's a great one. Dropkick Murphys from Quincy, right by home. And, gets the juices flowing, as Riley said.
If you don't get excited when you hear Dropkick Murphys, there might be something wrong with your metabolism.
Yeah.
They don't come quietly.
All right, let's talk about the best vacation, the best summer vacation that you ever had. Where'd you go and what'd you do, Ryan?
I went one time to California with my family, which is the first time I had ever ventured to the West Coast. So we did a trip to San Francisco for a while, and then we went to Monterey. Saw the aquarium and the beaches there, which is beautiful, and then we went to Yosemite. And Yosemite was really beautiful. That was probably one of my favorite places I've ever been to. It was just like breathtaking and like awe-inspiring. So probably Yosemite out of all places.
A
Yeah.
very beautiful place indeed. Riley, how about you? Your best vacation ever. Where'd you go? What'd you do?
Yeah, every summer my family tries to take some time, whether it's a weekend or a week or whatever we have in our busy schedules, and go down to Cape Cod, and that's always time that I really cherish. Just kind of going to the beach together and hanging out, and really just enjoying the time together.
Do you have a favorite town or a couple of towns on the Cape?
Yeah, I love Eastham. It's really quiet out there, and the beaches out there are spectacular, so big fan of Eastham.
All right, good times on the Cape. Now you're back at school. I'm going to ask you about academic question. Do you prefer a final exam or a final paper, and why?
I prefer a final paper. I just think with the final paper, there's more time to work on it, so you get a little bit more time to kind of polish off your product before submitting it. Some more time to kind of digest the questions as they may come. Whereas an exam, it's all kind of happening in a finite space, which has advantages. Once you go through that hour and a half, 2 hours, you're done with it. But I do like having kind of the extra time to really look over your work and be thorough with it.
Likes to control his own fate. How about you, Ryan? A paper or an exam as a final?
Yeah, I've actually thought about this question a lot in the past, and my answer is easily a paper as well, because my argument is that the time you would spend studying for that exam would be roughly the same amount of time you would spend writing the paper, but then you don't have to actually take the exam. You just submit the paper and then you're done with it. And there's less high stakes at play. You can kind of have time on your own to, go through it. So
that makes perfect sense if you have the discipline to study like you should. So good for you. We now know that.
Talk to us about where somewhere you've been that was really remote. What's the most remote place you've ever been, and how did you like it? Did you even like it?
How are we defining remote here?
Away from people.
Okay.
Away from people.
Well, I already used the Yosemite, but I will say when we were there, we were in a cabin, kind of like tucked away in the woods, and there was zero light pollution there at all. So, you would go out at night, look up on the porch, and it looked like you were in some sort of like, what's the word for like when you're like stargazing?
Observatory.
Observatory. Yeah, it looked like that. So it was really beautiful. You just literally heard nature, no cars, no lights or anything. So.
Beautiful Yosemite. And Riley, what about you? The most remote place you've been?
Yeah, so I actually had the opportunity when I was in high school. There was like a school program going to Iceland. And so I was able to go to Iceland when I was younger, and it was pretty remote out there. We were driving kind of all across the country in this big tour bus, and we'd go a few hours where we'd see maybe one farm, and that was about it, which was really, really cool and just a really awesome experience. But Iceland, pretty remote, pretty spread out.
Great experiences there all around. Now, tell us about maybe a more challenging experience you've had. Sports teaches us values like resilience and persistence. Talk to us about maybe a particular challenge or a defeat that you've had and what you learned from that. Riley, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so my sophomore year in high school, I was my first year on the varsity team playing quarterback, and I actually broke my collarbone about halfway through the year. And that was really challenging for me, coming in and having that experience to be on the varsity team, being all excited about that, and having to miss the playoffs as a result of that. But I think it really taught me how to lead even if you're not playing, and lead even if you're not in that kind of center role as a quarterback. I was able to kind of support my teammates the best I could, watching film and pointing out things that I might see, and just really trying to play a support role there. So I'd say that was definitely a challenging experience that I feel like I definitely learned a valuable lesson from.
Special kind of leadership. Good for you. Ryan, what about you?
I would go similar with my answer. I tore my ACL a few years back on this very field, and I was able to learn a lot about accepting things that I can't control and really just focusing on the things that I can control, because obviously it's really frustrating. You want to be out there, you want to, first few weeks you can't even walk, and when your identity is wrapped up in being an athlete, it's hard to be forced to kind of stray away from that, but it really allowed me to kind of focus on myself and focus on, keeping things in perspective and really just focusing on what I could control and not what I can't. So,
well said.
Very well said.
So you're a fifth-year senior. You're an uncle. What do you hope to be doing a year from now yourself?
So I'm really into kind of marketing and advertising. So I did a little bit of work on that front for the community chest actually. But I hope to be kind of a marketing strategist, hopefully at a advertising agency, something of that nature, yeah.
All right, advertising, fantastic. Riley, what about you? What do you hope to be doing a year from now?
Yeah, so I worked this past summer actually as a research assistant in one of the psychology labs here at Williams, and eventually I want to pursue a PhD in psychology, but before that I'm going to have to get some more experience researching in labs, so hopefully being a graduate assistant in some type of clinical psychology lab next year.
Fantastic, on to grad school. All right, well, before any of that, guys, you got the Colby game coming up next week. Colby coming off of a victory over Trinity. Their first time beating Trinity in 30 years. You guys aren't even 30 years old.
Not even close.
Have you started preparing for for Colby yet, Ryan?
We're in the preliminary stages of preparation. Yes, we started watching some film, getting used to their personnel and plays and things that they're running. We obviously saw the result of last week, so we're welcome to the challenge, and we think we'll play a really great game.
Riley, you ready for Colby to come to town on Saturday?
Yeah, we're extremely excited. Colby's obviously a good program and a team that's given us some troubles past few years in terms of, I think we're 2-1 against them in my 3 years here. So it's a really good team, and they're always well coached. They always come out and play really hard. So it'll be a good game of Farley Lamb.
All right. Well, kids, come join us for the kickoff crew again right here in the south end zone at 12:45 on Saturday. For everybody else, that game is against the Colby Mules, 1 p.m. Saturday here at Farley Lamb Field. Riley, Ryan, thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Malcolm Smith. Go Ephs! Welcome back to the Williams College Football Show. I'm your host, Malcolm Smith, and I'm here with Coach Raymond. Let's look ahead to the Colby Mules game on September 20th, right here at 1 p.m. at Farley Lamb Field. Colby had their first victory over Trinity in 30 years on Saturday. They beat the Bantams 13-6. A somewhat sloppy game, 7 interceptions, but Colby comes in fired up.
Yeah, absolutely. They played really good football Saturday. They had 7 sacks. They created turnovers. They completed a lot of passes. They're a really good physical football team.
So, obviously, I think I betray no secrets to say that Williams will probably try to run the ball against Colby as well, as we usually do. The run defense last week, 30 rushes by Trinity, 52 yards, 1.7 yards per run average by Trinity. Now, they're mostly a passing team, but obviously that's an important consideration.
100%, yeah. Trinity's been good at running the ball for a long time and really good running back. And Colby's front seven were dominant Saturday.
All right, we've got work cut out for us. Talk about some of the keys to the Colby offense. So they're more of a passing team.
Yeah, I mean, they have their quarterback's outstanding. He's a really good athlete, outstanding passer. A collection of good receivers, starting with the Nye kid, tight end. They spread it around, and they're very multiple on offense, and they create a lot of matchups problems.
They do have, as you mentioned, quarterback senior Miles Drake. He was last week 16 of 26 for 192 yards. He did throw 3 interceptions. I'm not sure we can count on that again.
Right.
Spread the ball around to 8 separate wide receivers. So to your point, they really make you cover everybody.
Absolutely.
I think the number one target, as you also mentioned, number 80, a sophomore, Jack Nye. He caught 7 passes for 99 yards. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. That's not an easy man to defend.
No, he's not. He's got a huge catch radius. Goes up and gets it, fearless. He's someone we're gonna have to pay attention to.
Colby has somewhat of a team defense, or at least did last week.
Yeah.
Of course, all defenses are team defenses. Many tackles spread around, led by Dennis Doherty, number 36, and Jack Mullen, a defensive lineman, a senior, number 96. Both with 7 tackles each. Talk about how Colby plays defense.
Yeah, they're kind of like a old Okie defense. They're 3 down, but they're big nose tackle. The inside linebackers are big and strong, and they're aggressive. They get after people and outstanding tacklers. And like I said, they created some turnovers last year, so they got some guys who will hawk the ball as well.
Coach Colby's coming in hot. They're 1-0.
Yep.
We're 1-0. It's a big game this weekend.
No question. No question.
So we'll need all the help we can get, which includes kids, parents of kids. We've started with the Williams Sideline Quarterback Club this year, the Kickoff crew. We're going to have kids of all ages down here in the south end zone, right next to the Williams locker room, just before game time, so that when the team runs out on the field, we'll have a corridor for them to run through and high fives. Does that get you excited, Coach?
Absolutely. Guys will love it.
The guys will love it. All right, so if you want to be part of the Kickoff crew, come down to the south end zone about 15 minutes before kickoff, so that'll be 12:45 p.m. this Saturday against Colby, and we'll take the field in right fashion. For the Williams College Football Show, I'm Malcolm Smith with Mark Raymond. Thank you for watching, and go Ephs.
What's up, guys? We've got a huge game this weekend against Colby. We need all the energy we can. If you're a kid, we could use your help, high-fiving us on the sideline. As we take the field, we'll meet at the southwest entrance right outside the locker room. See you there. We need everybody we can get.
Come all ye sons of William, sing, as we march down the field.